you'd have to look at Krunal Pandya's figures. We've got an interesting sidelight to that as well. But first, overall, let's try and assess his performance. 4 overs for 28 runs, despite a huge 19-run last over. Picked up those 3 wickets. One, of course, has been a talking point. But let's take you forward and tell you about Krunal Pandya in the 4th over and in the final over. And these are the numbers we've put together for you. And have a look at this. 16, 17, 13, 17 and 18. Those are what he's conceded in the 4th over. Now you might turn around and say, yes, as his bowling progresses, you're getting towards that slog phase of the innings, but it's not necessarily always been that.
I wonder whether people realize that the ball is slanting in, but by now he's played enough cricket around the world and for Mumbai Indians, apart from playing for India, for people to understand that he's largely that kind of bowler. Today, 4 overs, 3 for 28, you take that 10 days out of 10. I mean, you'll be overjoyed. You'll shake hands and pat him on the back and give him a piece of chocolate at the end. 4 overs, 3 for 28, you take that. But that is, I wonder, can it be that he's just trying to finish that 4th over quickly, that he's trying to bowl safe, that he's trying to switch a little. You know, I've bowled 3 overs well, let me just slip the 4th over out, because that often goes for runs, doesn't it?
I don't think that's a scenario here, because if you look at those numbers as well, like you would not find a pattern. Yes, the last over has been going for runs, but it was not dependent on how many wickets he has taken early on. Like today, he has picked up wickets in the first 3 overs. Still, he went for runs. There are days when he's not picked up wicket and gone for runs. I think it's something, if you have to look at it in terms of stack up of the overs, you know, maybe something from that angle can be looked at. Yeah. You know, how you use him, whether you're using him all 4 overs together, yes, or what kind of scenario you can squeeze in that 1 over. So I think the stack up can matter, because he's been bowling in the power play. You know, when you have 1 or 2 overs bowled in the power play, you have that luxury of spacing those overs out as well. You know, so that's something maybe team management can look at.
Bowled 4 of the trot last game also, I think.
Yeah, especially when you have one more bowling option. You know, especially when you have someone like Vijay Shankar who can give you 1 over. So it's always interesting to see how a captain goes about using his resources. You know, and whether some kind of feedback has gone in terms of the pattern which usually develop. Like, you know, you've seen it with many bowlers.
I wonder if
you've seen it with Umesh as well. Another example which comes to my mind is Umesh, you know, who's been bowling fantastically in the first 3 overs, but that 1 over, or you know, 1 of the 4 overs been on the expensive side.
I wonder if Rohit looks upon Krunal Pandya as a 5th bowler and saying, look, he's bowling well, let me get the 5th bowler's overs out. Whereas I think he's the 4th bowler and Hardik is the 5th bowler in this team. I wonder. I mean, we're just trying to trying to find a link to the numbers.
No one who knows the two brothers better than Rohit.
Absolutely.
The amount of T20 cricket they play together. He'll have situations where he'll be using him in a certain way. Other days it'll be different. So he's had enough situations to play around to know that I'm not going to look at numbers like this. If he's on the roll, yes, the previous over from Chahal, Trondheim had decided he was going to go for it.
Look, now there's something to watch in the 3rd game. How does Krunal go in the 4th over? Because now there's a pattern developing, but I don't think the pattern is strong enough to draw firm conclusions that he's a bad 4th overs bowler. But let's see how it goes along. There's a pattern developing that maybe an analyst or captain will just have a word with him about, sun tera 4th over zyada ja raha hai. But let's wait to see how it develops.